Okay. Let me tell you what happened, and I know I'm super late. Hello to the late night live crew. I hope I am not muted. Yes, I have paint on my arm. Because I was at an event earlier this evening and um the table collapsed. That is beside the point I'm trying to make, other than I was late. Here's what happened, and here's what we're going to be talking about tonight. I will stay on track for 1 second. Louis Urdaneta was arrested. He's out on bail, but he was arrested. Louis Urdaneta is the co-founder of Monat. And if I've spelled anything incorrectly in the title, let me know now so I can fix it. Because everything is a muck. And I don't know. OG Late Night Live Crew, if you don't know what this is, you haven't been around long enough. And I'm so glad you're here. I'm DC, your commander-in-chief of technical difficulties. I'm happy you're here. I'm sorry I'm late. I'd say that this isn't going to happen again, but it probably will. My curtain is open because my floofs are sleeping on my bed, and I don't want them to leave, so literally you can see behind the curtain, and I'm not sorry. All right? Late Night Live Crew forever. So, we were streaming on members only earlier, and we were just going to make merch. No big deal. We were going to watch Bomb Party. We started watching Bomb Party, and then we literally, by just luck of the draw, we were watching Bomb Party, and the rep told us, hey, BT Dubs, my husband's car caught on fire, and his car catching on fire caught my car on fire. Our cars are gone. And by luck of the draw, our cars did not catch our house on fire because the firemen got there on time, and BT Dubs, our neighbors, got us awake, so were able to get out of our house. I kid you not, this is the squirrel trail that happened on members only today. While we're going, what? Kat, one of the members, goes, hey, did you know that Louis Urdaneta... Well, this is not what Kat exactly said. Kat said, did you know what happened with Louis Urdaneta? And all of us go, no. And I go, tell me everything. And Kat goes, look at Aaron's stories. Open my phone. I don't even know where my phone is. I look at my phone and I go, what? And in my mind, I'm doing the bum 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 bum. That's not even the right tone. It's the Law and Order, whatever. You know, the little jingle of something is happening and it is law related. You know, the jingle. Louis Urdaneta has been arrested. MLM Exits posted it. And so we've derailed ourselves. Number one, the car's catching on fire. Number two, Monat co-founder has been arrested. It's month 2, 2026. The hair shampoo cult co-founder has been arrested. Can I just take a tally real quick? Can I just... Did anybody have this on our bingo card so far? It's a month and a half in. Did anyone of us have, like, the co-founder of Monat getting arrested and the bad PR from this taking down a multi-level marketing company? Because I didn't have that on my bingo card. I didn't. I sure didn't. Also, happy, oh, I guess it's February 14th. Happy whatever day it is for you out there. And if it's a sucky day for you, I'm glad you're here. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, I know exactly which one. Thank you. That's exactly what I was trying to hum. So, we decided to go read through the internet. And of course, we're watching the news and we're going to watch the videos. And as I'm reading, I'm saying to myself and the internet and members, where's the full Zoom hearing? I can't find it, so I'm just searching and downloading different news dealing with bobbers. And we end up finding the full Zoom hearing. It's not super long, but we find the full thing. So we download that. And then Kat finds us all the documents for free. So we have those, and we're going to read them all together. Now, I stopped trying to bingo cards because I feel like each month tries to top the last in being the most, what the fuckery is this? Yeah. I didn't have him running someone over. Yes. And can I add, I'm not going to say that I know Luis. Sorry, I keep saying Louis. If you don't know, I went to Monations last year thanks to the squirrels, thanks to the members, thanks to the community who sent me there with the donations, to my Ko-Fi. I couldn't have gone there without you. So I'm there at Monations listening to all of the speeches, all of the people throwing their hair around, watching the all of the independent contractors, aka cult members, showing us that they don't have extensions in. And on stage, Luis is larger than life, charismatic, very much king of the cult, very much an incredible speaker, very much confident, very much knows that he's the reason Monat, take this with a grain of salt, had the vision it used to have. I don't know if y'all have seen the Nexium documentary, but Keith Raniere, that kind of pull that you can kind of see on the videos that were in that documentary, the way people were drawn to him. Luis has the same type of demeanor. So when we watch the hearing that we're gonna see, or whatever, whenever he goes before the judge, his demeanor is very different. Now, I probably would have a very different demeanor myself if I had been arrested. I'm sure I would. After we read the documents, I would also be surprised. Maybe you will be too. With what Luis said was his state of mind after claiming that somebody threw himself in front of the Rolls-Royce that Luis was driving, and then where Luis decided to go after Luis fled the scene of a crime, allegedly. So, anyways, I'm excited that y'all are here. We're going to... What should we do first? Let's read... What should we do? Let's watch a video first. Of course, let's watch a video first. Should I cover something up? Let's watch a video first. Highs and lows while we set this up. My high is... What's my high? My high is... I did not have a panic attack when somebody at the event tonight forced their way past our table because they didn't want to go around and continued to force their way, and in doing so collapsed our table, and our table, everything on top of our table fell over, and all of the glassware broke, and everything in the glassware spilled everywhere, and paint got everywhere, and the sound was loud, but I stayed and followed through to the end of the event. That was my high, and my low was I got overstimulated. My other high was we found the Zoom call or the Zoom meeting where Luis was before the judge, and we also know where Luis is going to be on April 13th for his hearing for this case. And we have saved it to our calendar. So, yes. Welcome to Chaos 2026. I will be your host and tour guide. Wait, where are our videos? Huh?
Right. Arrest forms.
When you
All right, we're gonna watch a little bit of a video. Okay. Okay. Whoops.
Right now at 5.
Whoops. No. Ugh. Okay. Shoot. Delete. Delete. Where am I supposed to be? Because I don't know. Publish. Okay. Duplicate. Copy, paste. Okay. Here we go. Hi! It's good to see you! I hope you get your job, and I hope your hope feels good. And I hope your hope's rewarded, and it's good to see you. Also, look, we've lit up your beautiful needle point. It's good to see you. I'm not sure why my preview mode keeps doing that.
A marketing executive tied to a bizarre crash.
He's accused of hitting a construction worker with his Rolls-Royce. Local 10 Samir Nevsy live in Coral Gables with this shocking crime. Samir.
Louis and Christy, bizarre indeed. So you have this co-founder of a Doral-based company alleged to have gone beyond a barricade and intentionally and deliberately struck a construction worker.
are you Luis Urdaneta?
That's co-founder of Doral-based marketing firm Monat. Luis Urdaneta facing a Miami-Dade judge Thursday morning.
You are charged with aggravated battery.
The 64-year-old accused of intentionally hitting a construction worker who was placing barricades in the streets.
Do not worry. We will read all of this. We're just getting the TLDR. Oh. I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. Wishing you a lot of luck.
According to arrest forms.
When you used your Rolls-Royce to push somebody out of the way with your car.
The incident happened here in the 1500 block of San Remo Avenue back on January 9th. According to the construction worker, he was placing a barricade in the street when he noticed a two-tone Rolls-Royce entering the street closure. He motioned for Urdaneta to turn around. However, the 64-year-old allegedly drove his luxury vehicle towards the construction worker, hitting and pushing him out of the way. The worker telling police Urdaneta looked directly at him and motioned with his hand as if he wanted the worker to move out of his way. While being questioned by investigators, the 64-year-old said he was heading to Whole Foods and he went around the barricades, alleging the worker suddenly jumped out in front of his vehicle and struck his windshield with an open hand, explaining he left the area because he was scared.
Adios.
All right, so Urdaneta's bond was set at $5,000. He has since posted that. Now, in terms of the construction worker, according to documents, he's said to have no physical injuries. That's the very latest. We're live in Coral Gables. I'm Samir FC, Local 10 News.
All right, keep us updated. Thank you.
Okay. We'll read an article to get kind of the idea. We're going to watch the full hearing. Then we'll read the documents. And then I think what we'll do is we'll watch part of one of his speeches at Monations. So y'all can get an idea of like his kind of charisma and how he would like... I'm not going to say nobody, like, there wouldn't be a possibility of someone to be afraid, but how it's difficult for me to entertain the idea that Luis, in the area that he is, that's his area where he normally frequents, it would be... I would have a hard time believing that he... I have a hard time believing his story, but we'll see. Oh, thank you so much. My soundboard, we just reset, so I'm definitely going to have to get my kazoos back in order, but thank you so much, Shadow. Shadow got it. I'm so happy for you. Thank you, Marianne and Shadow. I'm glad you got the membership. Amy said, I've been applying for stuff for about 6 months and only gotten 2 actual interviews. Oh. Michaela, I have grown 5 teeth in the last 4 days. I'm glad you got out of your abusive environment. Lots of life's been lifing for a lot of people. Here, Shadow, here's the Discord. I think you're still part of the Late Night Live crew. Okay. Let's read the article real quick. I will load. We had to reset the soundboard, so. Okay, let me go here. Luis Urdaneta arrested. I'm trying to find the correct. All right. I may have to start using my Brave browser. Let's just try that one. See if this will work. Well, it's fine. That's fine. Presentation. Okay. This is not my favorite. Okay. Monat co-founder arrested for hitting construction worker with Rolls-Royce in Coral Gables. The co-founder of Doral-based multi-level marketing company Monat is facing a felony charge after police said he intentionally and deliberately struck a construction worker in Coral Gables. Police arrested Luis Urdaneta, who serves as Monat's chairman, on Wednesday in connection with the January incident. Oh, thank you, Bunny. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just straight to the top. Oh, Tori. 100%. Let's take a vote. Live chat, do we put him on the fuck you list? Are we putting Luis on the fuck you list? Someone second the motion. The Coral Gables is money? Hell yeah. Y'all are gonna rage when we read the documents. Intentionally. It gets worse, Mila. Amy, tons of money. Second the motion? Yes, Luis, all right, let's vote. The motion carries. I don't know why he's not already there, but he's on the list. He's on the fuck you list. He's on the list. He's on the list now. I cannot. A Coral Gables Police Department arrest report states that Urdaneta, 64, was behind the wheel of a two-toned Rolls-Royce. Does anyone know how much do Rolls-Royces cost? What is the cost of a Rolls-Royce? No thanks. They start at $250,000 to over $500,000, with prices for models like the 2025 exceeding $400,000 due to extensive customization. So they can range from $250,000 to $500,000. So cool. Got it. When he approached a construction area in the 1500 block of San Remo Avenue just after 2:45 p.m. on January 9th. Police said that the worker, who was positioning barricades, motioned for Urdaneta driving west in the eastbound lane to turn around, but instead, I dated someone who grew up around there and he had a bit of money, of that money brain. Driving west in the eastbound lane to turn around, but instead the businessman refused and began to enter the street closure while the victim was in his direct path. The report states that the worker continued to direct Urdaneta to turn around, but he instead intentionally continued to drive forward, striking and pushing the victim out of the way. The victim stated that the driver looked directly at him and motioned with his right hand as if he wanted the victim to move out of his way, the report states. Excuse you? Police said a witness corroborated the worker's account, stating that the witness saw Urdaneta intentionally used his vehicle to force the victim to move out of his path, took a picture of his plate, and both he and the worker picked him out of a photo lineup. Officers went to Urdaneta's home, assessed at a $6.5 million market value on Pine Drive in Miami-Dade's unincorporated Ponce Davis section, to arrest him on a charge of aggravated battery on Wednesday. The worker's okay. Yeah, the worker's okay. And Luis Urdaneta has a restraining order or the worker has a restraining order against Luis Urdaneta, so that Luis is not supposed to contact or get anywhere near or contact the worker at all. Police said Urdaneta claimed he was driving to Whole Foods when the worker suddenly jumped in front of his vehicle and struck his windshield with an open hand. According to the report, Urdaneta told officers that he left the area because he was scared. Sorry, obviously I've got some biases about this. Sorry. Urdaneta, a native of Venezuela who founded Monat, which sells beauty products, with his son Ray in 2014, appeared in Miami-Dade bond court on Thursday morning and had his charges read to him through a Spanish interpreter. Judge Victoria Sigler found probable cause and set his bond at $5,000 and ordered him to stay away from the worker. As of late Thursday morning, he remained in the Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center. Okay, so. Yes, here's my question. How come the bond was so low when it was an aggravated battery? Why is aggravated battery set that low? Now, the one shining bright light is that the judge was pissed. We're gonna get to look at the judge's face. I wish the bond was higher. I don't know why it couldn't have been higher. I don't know. Let's see. And if you don't know what a Rolls-Royce looks like, this is what a Rolls-Royce looks like. Let me get a picture of it. They are expensive, beautiful. I think they're handmade, like they're put together by hand. They're not assembly. I think they're made, like they're pieced together. They're expensive cars for a reason, is what I'm trying to say. Can someone... Okay. This is a Rolls-Royce. They're, again, between $250,000 to over $500,000. You can get them super customizable. So Luis allegedly, and we're going to read all the documents, is driving and allegedly does not acknowledge the construction workers' signals to turn around and hits the construction worker, allegedly, and then flees the scene and then gets arrested, allegedly. But this is what the car looks like. Not this color, but this is what a Rolls-Royce looks like. Dither? Luis Urdaneta arrested. Bail was paid $5,000. He has pled not guilty. We are going to watch the Zoom hearing. Then we are going to read the documents. Then we are going to listen to one of his speeches at Monat so you can kind of get his vibe of how he speaks. Super nice. Super, like, nothing's plastic on the inside. Like, everything's metal and wood and leather, and it's, I guess if you're a car person, like, it's super smooth and I don't know. It's nice. Oh yeah, he hit it's bad. He fled the scene. He fled the scene after hitting a construction worker because he was afraid. And hit and run, allegedly, arrested, out on bond. His hearing is going to be on April the 13th. We've already saved the date, and we're going to read the documents and stuff like that. Yeah, I kind of feel like maybe Luis needs to enjoy public transportation for the foreseeable future. But that's just me. Yeah, I think we're all confused why it would be low. A baseline Rolls-Royce would cost about 3.5 of my house. Yeah, I'm just like, why? It's a nice car. It's for sure a nice car. You could buy a lot of house for that. You could buy multiple tiny houses with that. You know, I'd honestly be afraid to drive it. I'd be afraid to drive it. Truly, I'd be afraid to drive it. Okay, let's watch the Zoom hearing. Let me open it up. We found this on YouTube, and the YouTube we found it on streams the Miami-Dade Correctional Facility every single time they have a hearing or whatever, so we lucked out. Videos, streams, February 13th.
The next file I
All right. All right. This is all public. This judge streams publicly online. That's all I want to say. A rich one. Okay. Hopefully we'll get the sound correct.
The next file I have will be a file for Luis Urdaneta.
Judge, can I have a second? Corrections, there's a case I put in the chat, and I also think we have Italian interpreter. Can we try and pull it out of turn?
We have a Spanish order for the show.
That's number right. Are you Luis Urdaneta? English or Spanish?
Spanish.
We have an interpreter. On January 9th, you are charged with aggravated battery.
The lady I'm on top of is the interpreter, so I'm just going to leave my camera where it is. The person you should be looking at is the judge. Watch her face. And I will watch it twice because her face is priceless.
A usted se le imputa un delito que data del 9 de enero y es agresión calificada.
And this apparently happened on the 9th of January when you used your Rolls-Royce to push somebody out of the way with your car. Huh. So when we go forward in this case, I'm ordering that you're prohibited from having any contact with Manuel Cabrera.
Muy bien, al parecer esa noche de enero usted usó su Rolls-Royce para empujar a alguien que se le había acercado. Vaya, muy bien. Cuando este caso proceda, usted tiene prohibido tener contacto alguno con la supuesta víctima, el señor Manuel Cabrera.
This means directly, indirectly, in person, in writing, by phone, or any other means. You must stay at least 500 feet away.
Eso quiere decir que no puede tener contacto directo o indirecto con esta persona, por escrito, en persona, vía telefónica o de cualquier manera y mantenerse en todo momento a no menos de 500 pies de distancia de él.
I'll set bond for you in the amount of $5,000 and inform you that you'll need to hire your own lawyer to handle this case.
Muy bien, la fianza que establezco es de $5,000 para el cargo que se le imputa y le informo que usted va a tener que contratar los servicios de un abogado particular para su defensa. Adiós.
Yeah, the Rolls-Royce did me off as well.
Okay. We're going to watch it again, but I'm going to zoom in on her face. Becca. Arrow. You know, we kind of hope, but I'm probably... Oops, there's Aaron.
The next one.
We're going to zoom in. A lot of law tubers don't care about MLM, which is okay. I just want y'all to look at her face when she's reading the case, and we're about to read the documents. When she's reading through what the case says, look at her. Also, I love Clippy that you have as your picture. She's not here, and I know judges have to be like impartial and stuff, but when she says like your Rolls-Royce that you used to shove someone out of the way, And the fact that this is Louis, we'll watch. I'll grab some of my footage of him speaking at Monations because after we read the documents and when he's saying he was scared, I know you can be scared and be confident on stage. It's just wild to match up the two different personas. I looked up Florida laws. It is dependent on what they are charging him with. The bonds are based on what the felony is, and this is what I found. 3rd-degree felony, 2,000. 2nd-degree felony, 7,500. Oh. Yeah, this was an aggravated battery. Okay. Well, I say bummer. It's just wild to think that he used his vehicle that literally could have crushed this person just because he didn't want to turn around. And it's like, all right, $5,000, pay it. You're good to go. It's a mind boggle, All right. I zoomed in on her face for us.
File I have will be a file for Luis Urdaneta.
Judge, can I have a second? Corrections, there's a case I put in the chat, and I also think we have Italian interpreter. Can we try and pull it out of turn?
We have a order for the show.
That's number right.
Are you Luis Urdaneta? English or Spanish? We have an interpreter. On January 9th, you are charged with aggravated battery.
A usted se le imputa un delito que data del 9 de enero y es agresión calificada.
Do you see her face?
And this apparently happened on the 9th of January when you used your Rolls-Royce to push somebody out of the way with your car. Huh. So when we go forward in this case, I'm ordering that you're prohibited from having any contact with Manuel Cabrera.
Sorry, I don't mean to keep watching something over and over and over again. I just that right there does not seem like a good look to me. Not that you can judge everyone's facial expressions with a grain of salt. That just doesn't seem like a good look. Not that a judge's facial expressions mean anything. That just made me chuckle a little bit because your grandmother looking at you like that is not a good sign. Nope. You're in deep dog shit if your grandmother's looking at you like that. You're in deep dog shit. 100%. You know what I'm saying? Just her little hand wave of I just shove it. Just shoving someone out of the way.
You are charged with aggravated battery.
A usted se le imputa un delito que data del 9 de enero y es agresión calificada.
And this apparently happened on the 9th of January when you used your Rolls-Royce to push somebody out of the way with your car. Huh.
With your car.
So when
Her little, her chuckle.
we go forward in this case, I'm
His bond stipulation would be not being able to drive, and he would basically be on house arrest until they continue the trial. I love that, Michaela. Thank you. All right, so let's read some of the documents. This is just me being interested because Luis is a founder of Monat. This is me being nosy as hell, okay? This is not me being like any kind of adding anything meaningful to the conversation. This is all me being like, I hope this takes Monat down. Rolls-Royce. Yep. All right. Let's get our documents. Do-do-do-do-do-do. The complaint affidavit. I'm just double checking that this is redacted, so please hold. Oh, hell no, we can't read this. I'm gonna have to read this off screen because his phone number's on here. Good job for being thorough, DC. Oh my god. This was just floating around on the internet. Oh my god. Well, we're going to read the other stuff. So, this was a felony 2 battery, an aggravated battery, I think. That's what it means. Florida statute number 784.045. Sorry, we can't read this right now. Hello. Not a fully formed baby snark. Here's to Monat crumbling. Cheers. From my Sonic slushy. The judge does have a lovely hair. So here, let me read this. We can read this part. We can read this stuff. I can take a screenshot and we can read it. I apologize. I almost shared Luis's phone number on the internet. All right. On Friday, January 9th, 2026, at approximately 2:48, the victim was working at a construction site located at 1500 BLK San Remo Avenue. There was a visible street closure with barricades that did not allow eastbound and westbound traffic to flow. The victim stated he was positioning one of the barricades into the eastbound lane that was located at the east side of the road closure. The victim stated he observed a two-tone Rolls-Royce traveling westbound in the eastbound lane of the 1500 BLK San Remo Avenue with the intention to enter the street closure. The victim waved to the driver that he had to turn around and travel in the opposite direction. The driver refused and began to enter the street closure while the victim was in his direct path. The victim continued. Please hold. Getting the next one up because I apparently sorry. I'm so glad I checked for the phone number. Dear God. To direct the driver to turn around. The driver then intentionally continued to drive forward, striking and pushing the victim out of the way. So, Luis intentionally continued to drive forward, striking and pushing the victim out of the way. The victim stated the driver, Luis Urdaneta, looked directly at him and motioned with his right hand as if he wanted the victim to move out of Luis Urdaneta's way. Screw the rules, I have money. Yes. Sounds like a few crimes with the major one using a 6,000-pound vehicle. Becca? Yes. Sounds like he was being a big baby and didn't want to go around. Yes. The witness in this incident stated he observed the two-toned Rolls-Royce intentionally use his vehicle to force the victim. Oh my God. The witness in this incident stated he observed the two-tone Rolls-Royce intentionally use his vehicle to force the victim to move out of his path. To move out of Luis Urdaneta's path. The witness was able to take pictures of the vehicle Florida tag. Rip to that. I'm just... This is public, but don't make bad decisions, okay? Hold on. Please hold. I have to go make good decisions with this. Edit. Sorry, team. Hold on. I knew I should have messed this up. Open with. Markup. Okay. Save. Okay, good enough. Pictures of the vehicle Florida tag. The defendant was later identified in a photo lineup by the victim and the witness. Both. The defendant in this incident intentionally and deliberately used his vehicle to strike the victim in an attempt to move him out of his path. Defendant was arrested and transported to CGPD. Post Miranda, defendant stated he was traveling west on the 1500 BLK San Remo Ave towards the Whole Food and went around the barricades. He stated that the victim suddenly jumped in front of his vehicle and struck his windshield with an open hand. The defendant stated he left the area because he was scared. What? Content warning, injury. I've been hit by a car in a crosswalk by accident. They did stop, but I was injured. For someone to do it on purpose is fucking wild. He didn't even check if he was injured. I'm glad the worker wasn't, but he could have killed him. And the wild thing was, Luis Urdaneta did it on purpose because he didn't want to turn around. Allegedly. The co-founder of Monat had better things to do than simply turn around because he didn't want to be bothered by a barricade. And so allegedly he thought that using his super expensive primo Rolls-Royce as a battering ram to shove a human being out of the way was a good decision? Allegedly? Hello? What? How come people who don't give a flippity flop about human beings still get to have no repercussions in the business world? What is happening? Luis Urdaneta allegedly uses his car as a battering ram to shove a human being out of the way because he doesn't know how to do a U-turn. Or what yet, better yet, he doesn't want to do a U-turn because he thinks that he shouldn't have to because he drives a Rolls-Royce. I mean, what? I can't wait to hear what he has to say on April 13th. Because guess what? He pled not guilty. Oh wait, there's another document that I hope is redacted. Hold on. Let me just double check. Let's see. Do I need to redact this? Dear God. Oh, there's only 2 pages. Oh, this is not meaningful. It's just the state of Florida versus Luis Urdaneta. And he's pleading not guilty. That's it. We don't need to read that. Yeah, and he's lived here since 2014, right? And let's say it's we'll see what he has to say, but he definitely using your car as a battering ram is not the right answer. The co-founder of Monat, there should be consequences for your behavior. If you're guilty, if the co-founder of Monat uses or used their car as a battering ram to push a construction worker out of the way because they had something better to do than make a U-turn, that individual should have consequences for their behavior. Imagine if it comes out how do you move past? I know that high visual vest and hard hat is pretty universal globally. Yeah, and moving the barricade and the signal to go around and the signage and in general driving and not hitting a human being is generally like accepted practice of like driving a vehicle. Where I live, a construction zone just bumps up what sentence you get. I don't know if he does. I know the Rolls-Royce, like, let's see if we have, do I even have, have they even done any, so he's pleading not guilty. We have he is going, save the date, April 13th. That's when they're going to be streaming court next. We've saved the YouTube channel where they do it. We've saved the website where they list everything that's going to happen next. Maybe nothing's going to happen. Maybe we're just going to get to drink coffee together and eat pastries. We don't know. I don't know what Nightbot's doing, but Nightbot needs to take a chill pill. Okay, let me go to Instagram. And let me see. If I have. I know I have. I want y'all to hear him speak at Monations. Let me find the right one first. Please hold.
The past year that reignited our field with new compensation enhancements, training.
Have you ever been told that you were... Nope, nope, nope.
Su extraordinaria participación.
With his extraordinary participation.
Me iba un poco hacia atrás.
And I was thinking.
Okay, this is one of his talks. Hold on. Let me just download it real quick so that we can fast forward it. It was hard. Some of the, obviously the videography is not great because no. Can I do this one? No. Oh, God. We're not going to watch all of it. I just want y'all to hear a little bit of his demeanor, the way that he speaks, stuff like that. 4K video downloader. I mean, we can just watch it here. That's fine. It's bad. I'm at Monat and I'm like trying to not be super like I'm filming. Do you know what I'm saying? They can bump up the charge during the proceedings. They oftentimes will charge based on the evidence they have at the time, but when new evidence comes in during the trial, they can bump up the charge. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I hope that they have evidence. I mean, and again, it's like what do they have the evidence for that they can actually charge? Because they're
Thinking back and recalling.
O sea, yo tengo 42, casi 43 años en la venta directa.
I've been in direct sales for 42, almost 43 years now.
Se dice fácil.
It's better said than done.
Pero se ha recorrido mucho tiempo.
It's been a long time.
Y de lo que hablaba Ray.
Sorry, my hair's in the way.
Mucho.
And when Ray was speaking, I felt related to what he was saying.
Porque sí, es hermosa la venta directa.
Because yes, direct sales is a beautiful channel.
El éxito es hermoso.
The success is amazing.
Disfrutar el éxito es algo que realmente es mágico.
Enjoying the success is something magical.
Pero no es fácil de alcanzar.
But it's definitely not something easy to reach.
Es duro.
It's tough.
Tiene que pasar por situaciones muy fuertes.
You have to go through very difficult situations.
Y es parte de lo que realmente me hacía reflexionar cuando Rainier hablaba.
And that's what I was reflecting on when Ray was speaking.
Comenzar la venta directa no es fácil.
Starting in direct sales is not easy.
Porque sobre todo quienes tenemos esta conducta que he tenido yo en un principio en la venta directa, era muy introvertido.
Especially for the ones that were like me, because at the beginning I was very introverted.
Yo fui mal estudiante.
I was a bad student.
Y siempre me decían que yo era de la familia.
It's hard to tell, like, the speech is obviously long, and I'm doing, like, it's hard to. I'll just let you keep listening. I want y'all to. He has an interpreter, but like when he's speaking, there's parts, and maybe it's not getting picked up by my microphone, but he's a good speaker. I'll just let it keep playing.
And they always told me I was a black sheep of the family.
Porque no había estudiado.
Because I never studied.
Entonces tenía, por supuesto,
I'm like
esa
chatting with y'all
autoestima
on my phone as I
muy baja.
have
So
my
truthfully, my
glasses on.
self-esteem was on the floor.
Y comenzar la venta directa con esas condiciones es bastante difícil.
And starting in direct sales in that condition is not something easy.
Introvertido
Introverted
y con el autoestima en el piso.
and with low self-esteem.
Que todo el mundo te diga que tú no sirves para muchas cosas.
When everybody's telling you that you're just not useful for a lot of things.
Y cuando te
Hey, coconuts.
atreves a probar, a incursionar en la venta directa,
And when you dare to try something like direct sales,
ya te ponen la etiqueta de fracasado.
you're already tagged as a failure.
Eso es difícil.
And it's difficult to face something
Y
like
así
that.
comencé yo la venta directa.
And that's how I started in direct sales.
¿Quiénes más han comenzado de esa manera?
Who else has started like that?
Con esa desconfianza,
With that lack
con
of
ese miedo
confidence,
y con esa situación tan difícil de manejar.
with that fear in such a difficult
Yo
situation.
estoy seguro que muchos de ustedes han comenzado así,
I'm sure that many here started that way too.
que realmente les ha costado tomar la decisión.
But it was difficult to take the decision.
Y quiero decirles
And I want to say
que yo lo viví también,
that that's the same thing I went through.
pero me atreví por necesidades.
But I had needs, so I dared.
Yo tenía muchas necesidades económicas
I had a lot of financial needs.
y saben que es difícil
And you know what's difficult?
vivir una vida limitada,
To live a limited life,
donde no tienes la posibilidad de conseguir las menores condiciones para poder desarrollar una familia o llevar adelante una familia.
where you don't have the possibility to have the less needed to develop a family even.
I had to
Eso viví yo.
That's what I was going through.
Y vine a la
I
venta
had to
directa
switch
no
around my
porque me gustaba la
glasses.
venta directa,
So I went to direct sales not because I liked
I was
the
trying to
channel,
touch
sino por
my.
una gran necesidad
but because I had a great
de
need
buscar un camino
of searching
had-
for a
que
path
me sacara
It's a long story.
that would get me out
de las limitaciones.
of my limitations.
Yo estoy seguro que muchos de ustedes han pasado por lo mismo.
And I'm sure that many here also went through the same thing.
Yo estoy seguro que muchos de ustedes han vivido situaciones difíciles antes de ingresar a la venta directa.
I'm sure that before direct sales, many of you have gone through difficult situations
Y
too.
es
I need to figure out how to download this. Copy link. Hold on, let me see if I can download this so we can freaking fast forward it. Can I download this here? I can't download it here. Can I download it here? Your data will be fully protected. Cancel. Is it because I'm not logged in? Here we go. Hold on. IG. Instagram.
su extraordinaria participación.
With his
Here we go. Got it. So low res file though.
Lo que también les puede estar pasando a ustedes cuando ustedes vayan a la calle y comiencen a trabajar con esa conducta.
Something happened to me that might happen to you when you start working on that too.
Sucede que se van a burlar de ustedes.
Everyone's gonna laugh at you.
Le van a decir, estás loca,
They're gonna call you crazy.
estás loco.
They're gonna say you can't.
Te están enfermando tu mente.
That they are just telling you stories.
Los ricos ya están hechos.
That the rich are already rich.
Te lo van a decir.
That's what they're gonna say.
Y yo recuerdo que yo aprendí, me lo repitieron tanto,
And I remember I learned because they
que
repeated
yo
it so many times.
aprendí a responder.
I learned to reply to that.
Sí, los ricos están hechos.
If the rich are already rich,
Pero uno de ellos en algún momento tiene que morirse.
one of them must die at some point to leave a space there. I started to work on that
Y comencé a luchar por eso.
and to fight for them. And they would laugh.
Hasta que me vieron conmigo. Ya mi hermano mayor estaba en la universidad.
My oldest brother was in college,
Y yo le dije, papá, mira,
and I replied, Dad, look at this.
Lots of technical difficulties happen, but
yo no voy a ir a la universidad.
Listen, I'm not going to college.
Yo voy a buscar otra universidad.
I'm going to search for a different type of college.
La universidad de la calle.
The college of life.
Voy a trabajar duro.
I'm going to work on the street.
Y te prometo
And I promise
que cuando mi hermano se gradúe
that when my brother graduates
en la universidad,
from college,
yo voy a tener mi propio negocio.
I'm going to have my own business.
Y pasó.
And that happened
Porque eduqué mi mente.
because I educated my mind.
Pero después que eduqué mi mente,
But after educating my
una de las
mind,
cosas que me dije,
one of the things I told
voy
myself,
a conseguir cosas grandes,
I'm going to achieve great things.
pero también me dije,
was one of those great things that you were going to do, Luis, using your car as a battering ram to move construction workers out of the way when you didn't want to do a U-turn in a construction zone?
But I also told
tengo
myself,
que trabajar muy duro.
I'm going to have to work very
Tengo
hard.
que trabajar constantemente.
I'm going to have to work
Y
constantly.
también algo que aprendí,
And another thing I learned
imitar lo bueno.
is to imitate the
Estuve
good.
pendiente de las personas exitosas.
I was looking at all the successful
¿Cómo lo
people.
hacían?
How do they do it?
¿Cómo trabajaban en el campo?
How do they work the field?
¿Cómo se comportaban en un escenario?
How do they act on a
¿Saben qué
stage?
aprendí de eso cuando fui a eso? Y que nunca lo he olvidado y siempre lo hago.
And something I've learned that I've never forgotten and I always do
Mantener el entusiasmo.
is to maintain the excitement.
No únicamente decir yo voy a lograrlo.
Not only say I'm going to do,
Es decir, yo lo voy a lograr.
I'm going to do it.
Yo lo voy a hacer.
I am going to
Y
do it.
nada ni nadie robará mi sueño.
And nothing and nobody will steal my dreams.
Eso es importante.
That is important.
Y yo sé que eso es difícil de lograrlo.
And I know it's difficult to be like that
Porque muchos de nosotros somos así como que, sí, tímidos,
because many of us are shy,
introvertidos,
introverts,
como fui yo.
like I was.
Pero desarrollé
But I
esa
did-
conducta.
I developed that behavior in me.
Y a veces me dicen que yo soy loco en el
Some-
escenario.
And sometimes they say that I look like a crazy person on stage.
No me importa.
But I don't care.
No me interesa
I'm not interested in what
que
they
me
think.
critiquen.
Criticize me.
Porque ese loco
Because that crazy man
que nació buscando un sueño y cambiar toda esa difícil situación en su inicio de vida,
that was born with a dream of changing his difficult life situation
está en este escenario.
is on the stage right now.
Yo veo este escenario,
I'm looking at the stage.
yo veo todas estas
I
luces,
see all the lights.
yo veo todas estas, este ambiente tan hermoso.
I see this beautiful environment.
Y yo recuerdo cuando comencé la venta directa,
And I remember when I just started in direct sales.
tenía hambre,
I was hungry,
mucha hambre de éxito.
very hungry for success.
Y tenía mis cuentas bancarias y mis bolsillos en cero.
And my bank account and my pockets were empty.
Y saben,
And you know,
aprendí la conducta,
I learned the behavior.
trabajé con esa conducta.
I worked the
No me
behavior.
importó que la gente me criticara.
I didn't care if people criticized me.
Duro trabajé,
I worked very
duro
hard.
luché,
I fought very hard.
creí en mi objetivo.
I believed in my goals,
Y entonces vinieron las oportunidades.
and opportunities came.
Ahora, ¿quién de ustedes se identifica con eso?
Who of you identifies with this that I'm saying?
Y fíjate que yo siempre hago este ejercicio.
And I always do this exercise.
¿Quiénes de ustedes se identifican con eso?
Who of you can relate with this?
¿Y cuál es la respuesta que consigo?
And what is the reply that I received?
Algunos dicen, ¡ya!
Some are like, me!
¡No! Por allá había alguien.
There was somebody there shouting, me!
Otros.
Others?
¿Quién se identifica con
Come on,
esto?
who relates with this?
So all that to say, you kind of can hear the range of like, he's a very dynamic speaker on stage. He's not flat. He has a lot of charisma. He's a very commanding presence. Apologies for like, it's my first foray into like being in a packed room of independent contractors where I was not supposed to be recording. Do you know what I'm saying? It is very believable to me that Luis went into a situation where he was very entitled that he did not want to do a U-turn, in my opinion. And he decided that he deserved to not have to do a U-turn, in my opinion. I could be wrong. We're going to find out if I was wrong when we listen to what's going to happen during the hearing. I'm just telling you, the person that I listened to, all of Monations, and the person that I've listened to in all of the videos that he's posted online doesn't really match up to the guy who said, this construction worker threw himself against my window and threw his hand, whatever, and I was afraid, and then I left. That part makes me have questions. I'm not saying that's a lie. I'm just saying that I have questions. Because that sounds very different from the dynamic, charismatic, egocentric, bold, co-founder type person that I listened to for the entirety of Monations when I went last year. So, also, pretty hypocritical, the type of person that you presented yourself to be at Monations, and the type of person, if it is true, the type of person who used your Rolls-Royce as a battering ram to move a construction worker out of the way because allegedly you decided you didn't want to do a U-turn in a construction zone. So, enjoy your new position on the fuck you list, Luis. You know how difficult it is to get into a Rolls-Royce. A $500,000 car that's like handmade. Dear God. Well, a short video, but we're gonna keep y'all posted. I guess we should start going through the more wild stuff of Monat. It's just been wild. Here's the TLDR, the wrap up, the like, what the heck happened. Luis Urdaneta fled the scene of an aggravated battery where a construction worker was hit with a car, Luis Urdaneta's car, and a witness had taken a picture of a license plate that belonged to Luis Urdaneta, who got arrested. And Luis Urdaneta pled not guilty. And the witness and the construction worker have other things to say, and that the Luis has paid what he needs to pay to not be in jail anymore, and we're gonna figure out what the hell is going on April 13th. So, fuckery's afoot. And I hope that the shade continues for Monat, because what the heck? Here's what's confusing to me. Nobody's perfect, but is it bizarro world that people who are in charge of companies but continue with incredibly bad behavior and suffered zero consequences for said bad behavior? Is that just bizarro to anybody else but me? Because, like, it's bizarro to me. Yeah, and a battery is using something, from what I understand, against, like, someone else. So, a pencil hitting someone would be a battery. Because I'm using a pencil. Right? So the car hitting the construction worker, battery. So you'd have to and it's described differently in different states. And the only reason we're looking at this is because multi-level marketing, and also we're nosy as hell. And Kat told us about it, and MLM Exit already knows everything. So MLM Exit made a reel. So feel free to go like MLM Exit's reel and share it out. Happy Valentine's or non-Valentine's Day to everybody else. All the shade to multi-level marketing and Monat. I'm glad that the construction worker was not more harmed and is doing okay, and hopefully we'll see what the hell's going on with Luis, and we'll continue to see what other fuckery's afoot. We're gonna stream today, later today. If you want to hang out, we're gonna craft and do. If you're lonely, hang out with us type of streamy things later. So take care. Have a good evening or day or whatever, and I'll see you later. Bye.